Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted, episode 89. Listen, we're filming this one a bit, well, before the date it's being released. Currently, you guys would probably know I'm in England, okay? Well, I'm now in South Africa, but in the time that this is uploaded, I'm in England, okay? But we thought we'll have a little fun one because obviously it's close to that time where we take on Ireland. So it's only me and Brevan tonight. We're going to do a combined 50, and we're going to try and be as objective as possible. I know casual bias rugby, whatever, right? We're going to try and be objective with it all. First and foremost, Brevan, how are you, brother?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, we're just trying to grind out some content here because exams, you traveling, Brett's obviously a busy businessman, so we all just trying to do our stuff, and obviously we still stay committed as possible to the channel. So
Yeah.
excited for this one. Like you said, we're going to try and be as neutral as possible, and just because of that, please remember to subscribe. We promise we are not going to be those Safas that are going to absolutely put 15. We wish we could, but we can't. Put 15 Safas in this combined 15. So yeah, please remember to subscribe, like, share, and let's carry on growing this channel. We appreciate every single one of you.
Well, we've got lives outside this, but we are committed to this thing, and we love the engagement that we always get. Obviously, we have a massive Irish audience here as well. That's why we also try and be as neutral with it as possible with this type of video. So please don't hesitate to put in your combined 15 in the comment section below. Will be interesting to see. And if you have a differential, give us a reason why you want to put that guy in above whoever is there. But without any further ado, because Brett's not here, let's get into it. Starting off with our front row, Brevan, you're going to take us away with the front three that you will take.
So, looking at who's available,
Yeah, they have to be available.
Yeah. So
well, as we currently speak, there can always be an injury leading up.
Yeah. This is actually, I think these three positions are really tough to call. I will, however, I think at the moment I would go Tad Furlong at 3. I would go Dan Sheehan's in form. I think
placing it on form. Because otherwise
true.
I can't have my boy there.
Yeah, no, look, obviously I would always back Malcolm Marx. This is taking nothing away from Dan Sheehan. He's a phenomenal player in my opinion. But I'd always have Malcolm Marx there in the fact that he's such a physical hooker, but at the same time, he's so good on the ground. I mean, he can steal balls from absolutely anywhere. It's incredible. And I just think he adds so much. And then I'm going to probably go with Porter. I'm going to go with Porter, Marx, and Tad Furlong at 1, 2, and 3.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's purely based on the fact that Malherbe, obviously, look, him and Tad Furlong have always been in a debate as who's the better prop at this moment in time. I think the better scrummager goes to Malherbe, but if we're looking at other things as well, I think Furlong's got to get a shout there as well. So I'm going to go Porter, Marx, and Furlong. I would go Kitshoff, but he's injured.
Yeah. Even if Kitshoff wasn't injured, the way he's kind of dropped off in form doesn't warrant him a spot necessarily, especially with the way that Andrew Porter has been playing. So Andrew Porter is my number one. Obviously, if you look at availability, we'll probably play Oxenshare there, starting there, or probably him. But Andrew Porter has been brilliant. He's not only good at the scrum, but he's also good at the breakdown. Gives you that extra fetcher option. Number 2, the easiest pick for me. Like, I know Dan Sheehan is good. I'm not here to write off Dan Sheehan. But if I look at my front three, they are there to do dirty work. Who does more dirty work between Dan Sheehan and Malcolm Marx? Malcolm Marx. Like, obviously, Dan Sheehan is quicker, probably has a bit more ball skill. Like, Sheehan could easily be a backline player with the way that he plays the game. He could even be a loose forward, whatever. But I think if you look at a prop hooker, Malcolm Marx, he just does the dirty work. He's always a menace at breakdown. He's a great ball carrier. He's insane at the scrum. His lineouts, Brett spoke about it like a good few episodes ago. His lineout percentages are something out of this world.
Mm,
I've said a million times he's in my top. He will go down as one of the top 10 forwards of all time. That's how good Malcolm Marx is. And then number three, once again, Furlong is a bit more flashy. Like he does have a step on him, but I like Frans Malherbe. My forwards, they need to scrum. You never beat
mm,
Frans Malherbe in a scrum. That's not to take away from Furlong, but Frans Malherbe, he is the scrum man, and he is the guy that's always just at the breakdown. He's the immovable object. So I'm going with the two Safas and then Andrew Porter in there, but it is a tight call. Like obviously, Ireland scrum is just as good, right?
mm,
Or they've really climbed up the ranks with the scrum. But Safas,
yeah.
who wins the scrums? It's your props and your hooker. And Safas have always been the scrum
Mm.
threat. So I had to be a bit biased around that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like,
Obviously they'll have the benefit at other positions, but when it comes to scrum time, that's the Safas thing. That's our pudding.
yeah, like it's interesting to see the different perceptions of how the fans view what prop should do. Like I've seen some Irish fans, they're not too concerned about the scrum, for example. So that's why they prefer Furlong over Malherbe because they're not too fussed about how the scrum goes. So it's basically how do you want your team to play? If it's a scrummaging side, I completely agree.
Mm.
So I think that Furlong and Malherbe is literally just interchangeable like this. So depending on how you would want your team to play and what you base it off. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. Now for the lock pairing, are we gonna be fine with like putting in 2 4s or 2 5s, or do you
Yeah,
think
that's what I
that's
was thinking, bro. Like I was
because
obviously
the
thinking
four's
straight
pretty
up.
easy. It
Yeah, Ibn Etzebeth is at 4, but at the
Yeah,
same time, I really want to give Joe McCarthy his flowers, and I would love to put him, but we know he's a 4. But I think he could be a 5. I don't see why not. So I would have Joe McCarthy and Ibn Etzebeth as my two locks, and if it goes against the rules, oh well. I
yeah.
enjoy having two locks that are bruisers at the same time. So
I wouldn't have Joe McCarthy there. So mine was anyway going to be a 4 and a 5, um, like irrespective. I think it's so tough to call between Franco Mostert and Tide Burn. I think Joe McCarthy just a bit inexperienced. Yeah, he's good. He's a good
mm,
talent. He's only played about what, like 4 games. So
yeah, but
um,
like he's been really good. So that's why I just thought Joe
yeah,
McCarthy for Leinster as well. Like he's
yeah,
in a
he's
in a
taken the spot of what's it, James Ryan, who was also one
yeah.
of the best, right? So
Mm.
that just tells you how good he is, and he's a monster.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Franco Mostert, like, I mean, the Oaks literally, I have so much praise for the guy. Which then, if I wasn't gonna base my team on two locks that probably play 4, Franco Mostert would get in because I think he's just so good at the work that doesn't get seen on a field. Like his tackles, like even if it's not bone crunching tackles, he'll still make like 15 to 16 important tackles a game minimum, and then he still gets to every single ruck when he has to. His work rate's incredible. So that's the
Yeah.
5 lock you want in your team because he'll always do the dirty work when you need him to. So
Yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
I think with that reasoning, I'll probably lean towards Franco Mostert over Tide Furlong. But Furlong is, not
Not
Furlong.
Furlong, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Tad Burn. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
they've all got Tads.
yeah. Like obviously Burn is so good, and I feel like he's a smart player. Like he knows
Mm,
how to do it. He gets away with stuff. He's a menace at the line out. He runs scintillating. He's kind of a Lood de Jager, maybe even better than Lood de Jager, but it's like it just feels like the same player. But I'm gonna go
yeah.
with Franco Mostert. I like the guys just doing the dirty work, making the tackles, always just being a menace wherever they are, right? So I'm gonna back Franco Mostert in it. So, well, I'm very sapphire at the moment. I've only got one Irish in my
Yeah, but
5.
I think when you head to I think we're going to head to a few Irish players now, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably. So I'll give you the floor for the Lucy's to start off
Okay.
with.
So I'm going to go with.
But before you go, we're not going to switch it because we switch our 6 and 7s. We're just going to go 6 versus 6. We're not going to say our 7 versus
Okay.
their 6. And
Okay.
yeah,
So
keep it.
yeah. So I'm gonna go, which would obviously be like we explain this again, which would be Ireland 7, but our 6. I'm gonna go Josh van der Flier. Then at 7, I'm gonna go Peter Steph du Toit. And then at 8, I'm gonna go Kalen Doris. Yeah, I'm gonna go Doris. So I'm gonna go Van der Flier, Peter Steph, and Doris at 8.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
probably.
Dwayne's not here. Dwayne's not here. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't.
No, listen. Peter Steph and what's it, Doris, they're easy. Those are the two easy ones that come in. You can't really put Sia there, right? He's been
And
injured for so long. He's
but
just.
also like I just think Sia Kulisi is. If you look at Van der Flier, I just feel like he offers more. In my opinion, I
Yeah,
think he offers a bit more than Sia Kulisi.
I'll agree with your Lucy's. I'll also put in the double Irish like Kellen
Yeah,
Doris. Yeah, Kellen Doris, Josh van der Flier, and Peter Steph the Toy. That
yeah,
it's probably the best combo you can have when it
yeah,
comes
for
to that.
sure.
Obviously, Peter O'Mahony has dropped a lot in
Yeah, he's
form.
getting old. He's getting old.
Yeah,
It's part of
it's one of
life.
those things. So yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll give you my halfback combination. It is Gibson Park
Mm.
and oh, now I'm thinking what kind of rugby would we want to play? Like, are we choosing Andre or are we choosing Mani?
Yo, I'd go Andre. I would. I just feel
So
like
then we're
he.
going. Then we're going Andre versus Jack Crowley. I'm gonna go Crowley. I just think he fits the system better in terms of running rugby. Like, obviously, I'm not talking
Okay.
about a World Cup final, right? And Andre's, I've said it before, and it's an unpopular opinion, but his overall game isn't up to standard anymore, in my opinion. Like, he can't run the game if it's not for his kicking ways. And I just want to see a nice, good running game. And I think overall gameplay, like the overall play of Crowley, is better than Andre Pollard at the moment. Like, Crowley can create stuff. He's a brilliant creator. And I don't see Andre doing that anymore. Obviously, Andre, perfect player for final, massive games. He'll be the perfect 10 for us, probably going into this Irish game as well. And he could probably win this game for us against Ireland. But just overall play, I'm going to back both Irish guys.
Yeah, obviously Gibson Park is a non-negotiable. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
in my opinion, the second one of the best players in the world, but the second best 9 in the world. Um, so he's in there for sure. And then it's it. The thing is, I trust Andre with my life. Like, I mean, obviously that comes down to mostly his kicking, like we say, but at the same time, yeah, I think I'm gonna go. No, I can't. I have to go with Andre. I've been very lenient to the Irish so far, but this is where I just say, Andre, I
You
trust you
get
with
my
my
point,
life.
right? In
Yeah,
terms
no,
of what
I do, but I just think Andre still has a lot to offer. I mean, many say his defense is not up to standard, blah blah blah. I still think he's the most physical 10 out of the 3
yeah,
options we listed. And I
he's one of
enjoy a
the most
physical
physical
10.
teams in the world, Brevan. Like,
Mm,
his defense is
yeah.
definitely up to standard. Like, the one thing he hasn't dropped is physicality. The one thing he has
Mm.
dropped is
Maybe
creativity.
creativity, yeah, sure. But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I just enjoy a 10 that's a bit more physical, likes to run a bit maybe. I just feel like his kicking, whether it's off the tee or trying to get 50-22s or playing possession game, again, he's so good with that. His up and unders are on point. So yeah, I'm gonna go Andre.
Yeah. And this is not disrespect to Marnie. I think if Marnie's kicking at goal was like it was for the
Oh
Stormers, we
yeah.
could actually have a good shout of getting in. Because I've been saying this for a while, and this might be very controversial for some people, but I think Marnie is just as good as Finn Russell. I think Finn Russell is overrated. I don't think he's bad, like, at all. I think he's very good. He's not the best 10 in the world. And I think Marnie does everything that Finn does better. Like, he's quicker, better step, just as creative as him, just can't kick at goal, which Finn Russell can do. Well, he can't kick at goal for the Springboks. So if
Mm.
Moni had a certain boot, if he had, let's say, 80% of what Andre had when it comes to kicking at goal. I think Marnie actually gets that 10 spot above Crowley as well. But yeah, that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, Faiz.
cent- Center combination, this is a wild one because
This is
we will
tough.
differ from the Irish right
This is
now.
so tough. Because you know
But
what?
but
I'm
the,
not taking anything away from Bundy Aki. I think the guy is an absolute machine. But Damien Delende, man, the guy
yes,
is he's just
it's different
he comes
gravy.
through. He comes through when you need him, man. Like I mean, I feel like when Bundy Aki against Damien Delende in the World Cup, like Bundy Aki had a fantastic game, but so did Damien Delende. Delende had a bloody good game as well. And I
Yeah,
felt like they both showed how good they were. But I'm gonna back Delende just because I just think he's the better 12. And that's no disrespect. Like I said, Bundy Aki's a machine, but I just think Damien Delende is a better 12.
and who's partnering him in 13?
Uh
No
who
Ringrose.
No, no. I would put Ringrose in there, but he's not available. I mean, going off the World Cup and what we've seen, I'm gonna go Jesse Creel.
Yeah,
Uh,
I fully agree, right? Like
yeah,
Bundiaki is good, right? And people try to use this debate as, yeah, Ireland beat South Africa, so that's why Bundiaki is better than Damien Dealende. You look at the stats, and you're like, well, Damien Dealende beat Bundiaki in every single stat there was, literally every single one of them. Maybe just
yeah,
not on meters gained because Bundiaki had that one breakthrough run, if I'm not mistaken. But
mm,
overall, everything else, Damien Dealende, he is the guy. Like everyone thinks
he's
maybe he's a bit
insane.
selfish or whatever, and then he doesn't play, and you're like, yeah, well, maybe Damien
You know, you
Dealende could
miss
have played a
him.
match with him. Yeah,
Yeah, you miss
it's
that
one of
oak.
those guys because you don't realize the dirty work he does. Like you see, maybe he carries one time a bit selfishly and stuff, but the guy's at every breakdown. He plays like a forward as well. Like he does everything, the tackles he makes, and the thing is, like he absorbs so many defenders. Like with his run, two or three
Mm,
guys
mm,
takes to get him down. All of a sudden, the defense line is a bit shattered. It opens up gaps for other players and stuff. So, Damien Lillard, easy. It's quite an easy pick for me to put him in 12, and he's been doing it for years as well.
yeah.
Like Bundiaki, he's been good for years, but he was never Bundiaki has never been seen as one of the best in the world until about 2 years ago, right? Where Damien
Yeah.
Lillard has always been top of the world. Partnering him, Jesse Creel. I would have agreed with the Ringrose shout, but he's also dropped off in form even before the World Cup. I remember the Irish people talking about that. Robbie
Mm,
Henshaw, not that good. Lukanya Arm has dropped off in form
mm,
at the Sharks as well. Like, does Lukanya Arm even should he even start for the Sharks at the moment with the way that Ethan Hooker has been playing?
yeah.
Francois Pinter inside, Andre Esterhuizen coming in. Like you can't leave out Ethan Hooker. That's
No,
it's
not at
just
the
how good
moment,
they've
yeah.
been. And Jesse Creel was the best outside center at the World Cup. Like that guy, a guy that
Yeah, he
we
was
all said,
fantastic.
listen, he does not deserve a Springbok jersey. He's like was like the one of the first names you put onto the team sheet. That's how good he was.
Mm,
So we're going off that, putting him into that 13 position.
facts.
Back
I'm
three,
happy with that.
back three.
Oof,
I'll go first.
go for
Remember
it.
that there's no Hugo Keenan now as well.
Yep, because he's away. Yep.
So it's going to sound very biased. There's not a single Irish guy that gets into the back three. Like,
Well,
not a
Mac
single.
Hansen's also out. He's not
Yeah.
available.
James Lowe's not getting in over Cheslin Colby. Okay. James Lowe makes tackles and he kicks. That's all he does. Right. I'm not having. He scores finishing tries. Cheslin Colby does the same. Cheslin Colby, highest paid player in the world, or one of the highest paid players in the world. Everyone loves Cheslin Colby. I'm not putting in what's it, Calvin Nash or
I have
whoever they
no
want to put
idea.
in
I
to
have
the
no
other wing.
idea.
It's not going in above Kurtley Arendse.
Curtly.
And Hugo Keenan would have been my fullback, right? Well, if Damon Willemse was available, Damon Willemse would have been my fullback.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it would have been Hugo Keenan, right? But he's
Uh,
playing sevens, so he's gone. And I'm
mhm.
not putting in whoever they're going to put in Frowley above Willie Leroux. That'd
Yeah,
be an
no.
absolute joke.
I'm
So
in
I'm going
agreement.
to go
Yeah.
back three for South Africans.
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to go Orange, Colby, and Billy. I think you have to. Based on the players that are available, I think you have to. Now, how weird is that, right? My forwards are dominated by Irish, and my backline is dominated by South Africans. Like that's you'd never really think that but like I think we've been fair
Yeah.
in who we've selected. I don't think we've been overly biased or biased at all for that matter. I just think at the players available, I think we've been fair in who we've select in what we've selected. I mean, we've differed on a few different things, but not much. So interesting.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like obviously they'll be screaming Dan Sheehan. They'll be screaming Dan Sheehan over Malcolm Marx,
Hmm.
and they'll probably be screaming James Lowe. That's the only two that I can think you and Bundiaki. Those are the
Yeah.
only ones that I can really see them disagreeing with. But I think we've put in a fair team because even though we would have loved to put in 15 Safas, like some of the Irish boys, they speak for themselves. Like you can't take out Torres. I can't
Mm.
have Orcs or Kitshoff above how Andrew Porter has
Porter.
been playing.
Mm.
Like Joe McCarthy should feel hard done by that he couldn't get into this team, or even that Tide Burn. Jeez, I got flustered there for a second. So I mean, it's so tight. That just tells you like how tight all of these calls are that we had to make, how good this competition will be. We're not going to go into what's a bench as well, but
Mm.
it's interesting to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I think if you look at a bench, I think that will be purely because what they bring off the bench. I feel like it would be Safa's dominated because that's what we build half our game off is what the bench can bring onto the field.
Yeah,
But like you said, it's interesting to think like how well my team it's very Irish dominant. I don't even think I have except for Gibson Park. I don't have an Irish player in the back line other than Gibson Park, and in the forwards it's just Malcolm, Eben, and Peter Steph Toy, and the other five are Irish. So I think I have 6 Irish players and 7 Saffers, which is
13
that's not
players.
bad. I mean,
The math
oh
ain't
no,
math.
sorry, I'm terrible maths.
The
Six.
math ain't mathing.
Oh, sorry, it's been a long day. But yeah, I think 6 Irish players is fair in my opinion. But
Yeah,
yeah.
well, these Sapphire's unscripted, right? I would love to hear
Uh,
their
that is terrible
preference.
math, Brevin.
Because you know the way that we thought about it, and I was like, what Irish guys could get into the Springbok team instead of like what South African guys could get into the Irish team? Because obviously, like, they would think, would I switch Furlong for Frans Malherbe? Probably not,
I'll
because
say no. Yeah.
exactly. They'll probably say, okay, we'll swap Ebenezer a bit for Joe McCarthy. But will I switch Franco Mostert will I switch Tide Burn for Franco Mostert? No, they won't. Well, I went with Franco Mostert because I wouldn't switch
Mm.
Franco Mostert for Tide Burn, which is like they wouldn't switch it the other way around. That's kind of the way that I think this whole thing played out. But
Mm.
thank you guys for watching. This was lovely to see you guys again. And we will see you next time. Please remember to like and subscribe. We love and appreciate every single one of you guys. Till next time, goodbye.